joined by Jon Glover, who is a community activist watchdog. Happy belated birthday to you, by the way.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us this morning. Your headline in the Inquisitor says, "A community slowly dying." Obviously, you're referring to Shreveport. Why do you say that? A lot of people agree with you, though.
Because as I've gone from place to place to place, and I'm watching the deterioration of minds and hearts, I'm looking at death. Because I know that if we don't get it together, we're not only going to continue what we see, it's going to overwhelm all of us.
Miss John, explain to everybody what maybe 2 or 3 or 4, as many as pop into your head, ways that you see Shreveport, let's use the term unraveling. What is it specifically that you see?
When I sit in those meetings and seemingly political agendas are being brought forward, agendas often that don't include all, and I mean all of the citizens of Shreveport and even our parish, then I have a problem with that. When I see people fight against each other, not for the betterment of what we're trying to get accomplished, but for, again, those agendas, that breaks my heart.
But if you asked me that same question, Robert, what do you think is wrong with Shreveport? I would say crime. I would say violence. I would say shooting. I would say broken families. I would say, and the first thing,
you know what?
And the first thing you said when I asked you that was you said political problems.
And because the heart of man brings forth all that you described, the crime, the graduation rate, the dying of communities, that's from the heart of man.
You wrote this.
Though they sit in governmental places.
You wrote this article in the Inquisitor. How long
Correct.
have you thought about writing that article, and did you not?
I every day I look and I observe and I'm saddened. And so out of the clear blue, I decided to sit down and write the words that I put pen to paper and now on the papers, bringing an awareness to us.
Let me quote this from your article, because this stood out to me. The public school system, those elected representatives and selected representatives, were they complicit in a public school system dying? That's a pretty strong accusation. You stand by that, though.
I do. I indeed do. When it is that I have data to support a comment of such magnitude, I indeed stand by my word. I shared with those board members not more than a few days ago, each district member, the performance of their school district. And it broke my heart because this isn't new. And I'm not going to allow COVID-19 to be the reason why we want to blame that we're not doing any more, even years and years later. There has to be something better than we electing people who are not addressing the truthfulness of every child achieving in Cattle Parish, no matter what we may bring to the floor as those proverbial elephants in the room.
You say our city has been dying, obviously, long before this administration. What started the city being in the ICU? What sparked it?
And was it a political thing or an economic thing?
I believe it was a political thing that became an economical thing. See, politics has this way about itself. And when those who demonstrate those agendas again that are not about the total of the citizens of our city, even our parish, this is what we're going to get. We're going to get, indeed, economic despair. Because if no one comes to our city, we have no jobs. But then it goes back to our educational system. If they come to our city, are those who they will look to fill positions equipped to do the job? If you lack the ability to read, you cannot comprehend, you can't do basic math, where do you leave yourself except in an economic despair?
What would you like to see as a tangible work or tangible action that would show you that folks are genuinely concerned about making a change and turning this around?
Bringing those persons who are indeed impacted by what we're always speaking to the table. See, we always bring those persons who believe for themselves. We are the experts. But you don't deal with the people that are actually in the trenches. When you don't allow their voices to be heard, to hear some of the things that may be contributing to why we're not getting any better, then we're going to always be where we are.